Hi, I'm Wally Hauk, and I want to talk to you today about the difference between optimum leadership and leadership malpractice. This is a choice that you can make, and I assert you want to choose optimum leadership. You do not want to choose malpractice. Optimum leadership uses the scientific method to evaluate processes to identify solutions to complex problems. Leadership malpractice blames people for problems and stops listening to people. Optimum leadership enrolls the entire team to review data, experiment with new ideas to find solutions. Leadership malpractice seeks to evaluate people when results are poor. By the way, let's define malpractice. Malpractice is a failure of a professional that causes injury to others either through ignorance, negligence, or criminal intent. Now, we're not talking about criminality here. I would like to suggest that a lack of knowledge of how to be the optimum leader is not a good excuse. That is ignorance or negligence because the information is available. Let me give you a quick story. In 1847, Hungarian-born physician Ignaz Semmelweis, while working at an obstetrics unit in Vienna, was astonished and concerned with the frequency of child fatalities that occurred after birth while being assisted by medical students. The rate of child death was 10 to 20 times higher than those that occurred with births assisted by midwives. How could that be? Semmelweis asked. His concern motivated him to do a meticulous examination of the clinical processes. He discovered that the medical students who assisted in the childbirth often did so immediately after performing autopsies on patients who had died from bacterial infections. The medical students unknowingly passed on these bacterial infections to the mothers and the children, causing the deaths. Semmelweis, therefore, experimented. He instituted a strict policy of hand washing with a chlorinated antiseptic. Chlorine at the time was the best known antiseptic used, and he used that. And guess what happened? The mortality rates dropped by 10 to 20 fold within less than 3 months. Semmelweis used this problem-solving process, and that process exemplifies Dr. W. Edward Deming's system of profound knowledge. Semmelweis had a theory. His theory was what? That the autopsies were contributing to the problem. He collected data to test his theory. He made a change to the processes for improvement. He generated significant improvement. He didn't blame people. He didn't try to control people. He didn't blame the medical students. He didn't blame the babies. He didn't blame the mothers. He didn't threaten. He didn't evaluate. He didn't criticize people. He used a sound, scientific problem-solving method. This is exemplary of a Deming or optimum leader. Dr. Deming wanted management to work on improving the system and optimize it over time. He wanted managers to not just continuously add value to customers, but to create an environment that provided joy and pride for employees in order for them to contribute to the value to the customers. He wanted managers to question the prevailing theory, which usually focuses on who is to blame for these deaths. Deming wanted management to be able to predict, so he created a system of profound knowledge to help managers accomplish all of this. Deming believed that management needed a transformation, and that first step in that transformation was the transformation of the individual. He explained how a manager who understands the key elements of the system of profound knowledge could then apply those same principles to achieve significant positive results, just as Semmelweis did. So let me ask you, are you collecting data? Are you using the scientific method? Are you clarifying processes as a team? Are you giving people the chance to experiment with their new ideas to achieve the desired outcomes? It sounds simple, but it's not easy. If you're not doing these things consistently, then are you committing malpractice? I assert you are. Are you blaming others? That's malpractice. Are you failing to use systems thinking? That's malpractice. Are you and your people unprepared or lack the tools to study processes? No excuse. That information is available. What are you doing? Get going. Transform. It's time for a personal transformation. I know you can do it. Thanks for listening.